name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and the host of this show, the Take Your Life Back Today show. More baby boomers are turning to pot and to alcohol, folks. That is a sheer fact in today's society. As more and more teens say no to drugs and alcohol, two new studies indicate that another population segment is increasingly turning to pot and booze. Their grandparents' marijuana use by adults age 50 and older increased significantly from 2006 until 2014, growing by 57.8% among 50 to 64-year-olds surveyed, and startling 250% for those older than 65, according to the study published earlier this month in the Society for Study of Addiction. Folks, the study also found that 6.9% of the elderly tokers met criteria for marijuana abuse or dependence, while the overwhelming majority said they had no problems with any sort of smoking pot on a monthly or weekly basis, that they actually were doing that. The baby boomer generation has higher reported rates of substance use compared to any other generation preceding it, and stark differences in the attitudes towards recreational and illicit drug use, the study reads. However, there is limited research that addresses the epidemiology and health status of older adults who use drugs. We also understand little about how drug use impacts aging or how aging influences substance use. The lack of knowledge in this area constrains the care for a changing demographic of older adults and higher rates of substance use. My friends, a second study focused on the demographic trends of binge drinking. 5 or more drinks during the same sitting or same occasion, you could say, also found growing rates of the practice and alcoholism among older adults, particularly among women and Hispanics. But Joseph Palomar, a co-author of both studies, said he's more concerned about the possible social and legal ramifications of the increased substance abuse by elderly Americans that out there have a potential impact by doing the more binge drinking on their health. As always, my biggest concerns related to marijuana use is the risk of arrest or incarceration, Palmer writes. Nobody wants their grandma to be arrested or incarcerated, do they? I mean, especially if they think it's okay to do this. Recreational pot use was legalized 4 years ago in Colorado and Washington, but remains illegal federally. Residents in California, Massachusetts, Maine, and Nevada last month voted to join the ranks of Colorado and of Washington, while measures passed in Arkansas, Florida, and North Dakota allowing doctors to prescribe medical marijuana to patients. In all, 28 states have passed legalization on marijuana use. 28, that's more than half our country. But Palma said the new studies, especially the findings on binge drinking, suggest there might be a changing of the guard underway in the terms of whom to watch at the holiday work party. The young people have always had to worry about doing something that maybe was considered inappropriate in front of their bosses, Palma said. We also have to worry about the boss, him or herself, now getting out of hand in the front of his or her employees, because they are probably the baby boomers. Overall, 7.1% of adults aged 50 and up and 1.4% of those aged 65 and older reporting use of marijuana in the past year in 2014, compared to 4.5% and 0.4% in 2006, respectively. My friends, older adults with less than a high school education or low incomes use drugs more than their counterparts, and people with depression, people with anxiety are much more likely to smoke pot than the average of 4.8%. That's 4.8% of society. Some Senior citizens may be turning to pot to treat their health afflictions and illnesses that they are carrying as they age, according to the Washington Post, citing a number of studies showing a link between marijuana use and mental disorders. Meanwhile, the study on binge drinking and that of alcoholism among older adults found that 14.9% of those aged 50 and older had 5 or more drinks during one occasion or one sitting within the past month. And that was, the study was from 2014, up to 12.9% during 2005 to 2006. Meanwhile, Hispanics reported the highest rate of binge drinking, 17.2% among all races. Men were more than twice as likely to binge drink compared to women. But the rate among women skyrocketed, 44% in 2005, a time when only 6.3% reported binge drinking, the Washington Post reports. The numbers don't lie, my friends. They're astronomical. Call me at 844-405-HELP. We can help each other take our lives back. Folks, it's alarming. Those statistics are just totally alarming. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Look at the elderly around you. Give them a simple smile to change their day. And may God bless you. And remember that the elderly need attention, and maybe that's why they're also turning to drugs and alcohol. Give them the attention they deserve, because one day we will all get to where they are, and we will want the attention. May God bless each and every one of you, and have a great day on this rainy Monday here down in Virginia. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.